So from where you're sitting, you envision that the GCs are going to face massive pressure around commoditization and reinventing themselves in the next few years to
the ones that don't get
good
it.
value. Yeah.
Yeah. The ones that don't get it, the ones that are only focused on the dollar and you just become another line, on the transaction sheet. They're going to be the ones that really feel the pressure. The ones today, some of these GCs that we work with are phenomenal. They get it. It's all about the value add to the end user, being the owner operator. I don't think they're going to have any issues, but I do. I think that's going to be the biggest change in the next couple of years from where we sit.
So the transformation of the companies that help to build digital transformation. And it's not surprising because when I think of the 4 or 5 different categories of the ecosystem, and we divide it up into operators, technology companies, facilities companies, construction, and real estate, and then some things related to outsourced marketing and sales. The construction and the real estate seems to be what's clinging to the traditional sales and marketing playbook way more than the operators and the technology and the facilities companies. It's not to say that there aren't like good podcasts and good webinar programs. There is certainly some of that, but it always seems like the technology companies and the operators are way ahead in that space.
Way ahead. Yeah. And listen, like I said, when we first started the conversation today, I've been in the building industry world for over 2 decades, and I think that's always historically been the case. It's a slow to change industry, the construction industry, and I think you'll continue to see that in the data center space specifically.
Because there definitely is more of a movement to infuse construction with technology. And there's some college programs actually just even an hour south of we are like, for example, at Florida International, where there's a big construction. It's a lot of interest in getting talent into large scale construction way beyond the traditional kind of residential strip mall kind of projects. So there is for sure a movement around there. But yeah, how it impacts industrial real estate, I don't know. You're right. This certainly is an area where they can either proactively reinvent themselves or the industry will maneuver around them and find solutions for this, because these projects are so huge.
They're massive.
Right.
Yeah.
There's so much capital flowing.
And
and like the idea of the difference between it being a couple of weeks versus a couple of months on a delay is like, it's an 8-figure opportunity, right. 8-figure cost.
Yeah. And the demand is so far outpacing the supply that, it has to change so that these folks can hit their deadlines and stay on their budgets. So I don't think there's any question whether or not it's going to change, pretty quickly.
And it's very consistent with one area that the data center industry has already seen with technology. I interviewed someone a couple of weeks back who owns a big operator in Phoenix, and we were talking about the chip factories that are being built for Taiwan Semiconductor, primarily to feed NVIDIA and Intel right in their backyard on a massive scale because of the federal initiatives and subsidies to jumpstart that. So if you think about, and that was in reaction to post-pandemic of bringing semiconductor manufacturing for strategic reasons back into the US. So from what you're saying, it sounds like some of the high-end manufacturing around your category is also going to be an area where people are going to be rethinking the origin and lead time and how much control they have in the local areas.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Super interesting. So you got to be a supply chain expert with all of this as well.
You have to be, right? That's the value you bring.